keys to an open house success. I had lots of agents that go over the top when it comes to open houses. Over the top. Mariana happened to be close, but she doesn't win the championship when it comes to open houses. She used to do over the top open houses. When I say over the top, I'm talking about red and white sangria. She used to bake cupcakes. She would have water bottles. She had plastic champagne glasses and plastic cups for the sangria. She brought bags of ice. I mean, she just went over the top, and you felt like you were invited to a party, not just an open house. I just want to encourage you that people get very discouraged doing an open house. The reason they get discouraged is because they do one open house, nobody shows up. They do it another weekend, nobody shows up. They do it maybe a third time, nobody shows up. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, I can't believe I have to do another open house. What a waste of a nice Sunday afternoon. And I'm going to tell you all the story. Maybe Jenny heard this story already. You might have heard the story about Mrs. Barada early on, just got a real estate license. She and her partner, Pat, and I had a listing in New City. It was a nice house, a little overpriced, but anyway, I had the listing and I said, you guys can do the open house. First, I did an open house and I brought everybody. Vicky was in Donna's class and Patricia was in Donna's class. Ileana was in Donna's class, a couple other people. So we did one big open house. It was like a cocktail party and everybody was in there and we all took turns on. I showed them how to walk somebody through the house, which I think Derek showed you guys how to, show somebody around in the house, and it's not that hard a thing to do. And then each time somebody walked in, everybody got a try. Vicky took somebody around, Donna took somebody around, Pat, and then we had lots of people coming in. Nobody wanted the house that day. All the different people walking in, nobody wanted it. So P.S. the following Sunday, Donna and Patricia said, oh, we'll do an open house. Not one human being walked into the house that day. Third week, Donna, Saturday and Sunday, not one human being walked in the door. We went out, we were out somewhere, and I said on week 4, maybe week 5, I don't remember if it was 4 or 5. So I said, girls, open house this weekend. And the both of them were just like, oh, I can't believe it. Do we have to do an open house? Oh, this is just awful. I can't stand it. So I said, no problem. So I went to the office and said, who wants to do an open house? Adam and another guy, John, both of them said, oh, I'll do an open house. So John said, I'll do Saturday. And Adam said, I'll do Sunday. I'm there 10, 15 minutes before the open house starts. And there's a lady in the driveway and she's waving. I don't know if you could see me, but she's going like this to me. And she goes, are you the agent here? And I go, no, I'm just dropping off signage. She goes, oh, okay. Because I got my pre-approval. I want to see the house. She walks in the door. She ran, as the agent just got there. He didn't even turn any lights on. She runs through the whole house. She goes, I'll take it. How much is it? And she puts in a full price offer that day. So we didn't take the offer because we still had another open house the following day.
Wow,
The following day, a lady walks in. As soon as it opened, the open house, she walks in, pre-approval in hand, and said, I got to have this house. And they were literally fighting over the house. And one lady waved a whole bunch of stuff and she ended up getting the deal. Well, P.S. Mrs. Barada and Patricia were furious with me because that was supposed to be our sale. We could have had a buyer and a seller, and you screwed us over by not letting us do it. I'm like, hello, you had a rotten attitude. You were not going to attract anybody in there. You can't go into this open house with a rotten attitude. You got to go there, whether nobody walks in or 100 people. Hey, how come that's not on?
Yeah, thinking that that's gonna be the day.
This is, yeah, you have to do that. Why is that not on? You have to go there, and if nobody shows up, you're going to get a lot of stuff done. You could go stand in front. That's why it's good to have 2 or 3 people working an open house or more, so it kind of looks like a party. The more cars that you have and the more people going on and balloons and people coming in and out of there, even if it's just agents from the office walking in and out of the open house, it kind of gives the impression that there's something in there that's worth going to look at. Everybody got the idea? It really is important. The attitude, you have to invite people, right? Pretty important that you invite people to your open house. How do I do that, Joe? Social media, email, any way that you reach people, you can reach out and tell all your book of business. I'm doing an open house. Anybody going to be in the neighborhood, or if you know anybody, might be looking at this charming 5-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch in Newburgh, in a great, cute, quiet little street. Come see me on Saturday. Do we know anybody? You should be doing those invitations. All right. So let's take a look. That's a really nice looking house. I haven't seen that picture in a while. Okay, so let's talk about, we have to, the follow-up, I guess we're working backwards here, but we are following up. I don't know why we're starting with follow-up. Start with the right attitude, and that attitude is, why am I doing this? The reality of an open house, I've told you whether you're in my class or I've told you whether you're here, the reality of an open house is not to sell Ms. Winter's house. They're doing that open house in Newburgh. That's not why we're doing it. There's 100 agents that have buyers that will bring a buyer to your open house. That's not why we're doing it. If you happen to get a buyer that walks in and goes, I'll take it, great. But that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it for a couple of reasons. I'm entertaining the neighbors, might be thinking of selling their house, and they might be looking at realtor. What kind of job are you doing for this client? Number one. Number two, I want to see how my house compares to this house so I know if I'm ready to get my house sold or not. So the idea is we want to get in there from the get-go, knowing that anyone that walks in the door, even if it is a seller and said, oh, I live down the street, great, awesome, come on in, let me show you around. You know, do you have any idea how much your house is worth? You know, I can help you out with that too. Later on, if you put your information down, I can send you and do a free study on what your house is worth. That's number one. Number two, we want to get as many active, unrepresented buyers into that house as possible. That's my number two goal, is to get a buyer in there. Christian sitting right in front of me here did a open house on his house in the Bronx on Paulding Avenue. It's a hard house to sell, no question about it. We haven't accepted offers, still not sure if it's going to go through, but it's a hard house to sell. But somebody walked in the door and said, this house is not for me. What else do you have? Showed her another house, and we're in contract.
We showed her actually 2 houses.
2 houses other than that
Second
one, and she purchased one of those 2 homes. So technically, that first house in the Bronx, it's already sold. As far as I'm concerned, you sold the house. Now, keep working it as often as possible. She's still a little leery, not exactly sure she wants to do any open houses. We're trying to talk her into doing a couple of more. She thinks to possibly get a better buyer, the more you do it, the more opportunities for someone else to walk in and say, nice house, I don't like it, what else do you have? So if you can get 1 or 2 other clients out of it, would be great, okay? That bad answer, the owner said, I want you to do open houses for me. Most owners really don't even want an open house. They're kind of leery of open houses, but that's not a good answer. I have to show the owner that I'm doing something, and it does help, right? I'm about to lose the listing. This is my last shot. That is absolutely the worst thing you could do, because open houses should be consistent throughout. When you take a listing, you should already have, weather permitting, seller, is it okay if I do some open houses here? But what do you mean by some open houses? Well, I'd like to do 1, possibly 2 every single weekend. That's how I work. I want to get this house sold for you. I want to work hard for you to get this house sold. People want to hear that, okay? Not everybody does. Some people say, I don't want anybody in my house unless this, unless we know who they are, whatever. Not everybody wants open houses to, now on a Sunday, I got to clean my house. What else? She has to move the Rottweilers. She got this whole, it's like this big production for her to
She
leave.
has 5 kids.
Yeah, and 5 kids. She's got to move out of the house. It's a little complicated for her, but the same token, we're doing this because we're trying to get your house sold. So that's what we're doing. Okay, Good answer. This is going to help me build my business, especially now that it's going to help my business because I might meet some owners of other homes. We're also going to send to everybody in the neighborhood. Now, mail needs a stamp. If you were to put an invitation in the homes in the area in a flyer that said, come to my open house on Sunday or Saturday between 1 and whatever, you can mail them or you can go put them in the, in the front gate or something like that, or in their door, flyer in their door. You can do that at an open house. So, Dan, I hope you're taking notes. So it's going to help me build my business. I can get buyers, I can get sellers. It looks good. And we have one other thing, social media posts. We're actually in an opportunity where we can have a lot of views of my, not just the house, could be a dump of a house, could be a train wreck of a house, but there's opportunity for you to publish that on social media. I had one listing one time. It was such a disaster. Only a contractor could possibly buy it. But I still did one long video and I made it up. This is a long time ago when I just started recording with the camera, when I started getting good. And I walked through this house and there was a hole in the ceiling and I'm talking about the mold and I was describing it and I'm talking about the condition of the house and the second bathroom and look how much stuff this thing needs. And I walked through the whole place. So even though it was a wreck, I wasn't expecting people to go, oh my God, look what a beautiful house. It wasn't. It was more for me. It was content. Content is king, right? Okay, so how is this going to go? I just beat it. I might get the house sold. I might meet a buyer. I might get a listing appointment, meeting a seller that says, come take a look at my house. Tell me what you think, in your professional opinion, this house needs, or how much you think I can get for my house. Oh, don't tell anybody this house is 460. So if you live on this block, you have a 460 house. It's, gee, I don't know. I haven't seen your house yet. Let me come over. I'll take a look. I can come over right after the appointment. I'll take a look and I'll tell you what I think. Well, my house looks exactly like this one. No two houses are exactly the same. I would be not doing my job of due diligence if I just threw a number at you right now. So why don't we come over? You go there, you get in the door, you make a good presentation. Very important. You can get a referral as well. People come in there, like I said, nosy neighbors. They might be looking to interview you and ask you. You always give your cards out like crazy, flyer information, everything else, as much information as possible, because you just don't know. Hey, I was at this open house the other day. Call this guy. This house might be perfect for you. You just don't know. Okay, very, very good thing. Most important thing to know, smart real estate people do spend time promoting open houses. Open houses are still one of the best ways to attract a buyer. Open houses are an effective way to initiate relationships with everybody. It is probably the best way of being face to face with somebody, other than, walking around and shaking hands like a politician. You're actually getting people to come to you, to walk up to you, shake hands like a politician. Mail letters of invitation, that's really cool. Like, if we know that we're going to be doing one this coming week, it's already Thursday, so it's a little late for that now to get them mailed out. But social media, we can reach out. You can boost it that you're doing open house on social media for, $10. Having flyers ready, brochures, you can get materials. We have some materials here from Ali that printed up for us. They're already here printed. If you come to the office, or you can reach out to Ali and he could make a flyer with your name on it and your face on it. He'll do that for you. He'll give you the PDF and then you just have to print them. So we have Quintessential Mortgage, conventional loans. This one says 5% down on primary dwellings. This one says Quintessential, programs that make our mortgage group special, and is a whole series of mortgages that they do, all kind of mortgages. So what the heck is that? The home buying process. He can add your information on here if you.
I have that one. He put my face, so it is very helpful. People like that.
Really cool. All right, so you can reach out to him today. I don't know. Do you have his information, Dan? Yeah, reach out to him and say, hey, I'm doing an open house Saturday and Sunday in Newburgh. Number one, do you want to come to my open house? he might want to come there.
Yep.
Number two, can you make a few different flyers? Here's some common strategies for the home buying process. There's another good one. What else do we have on here? This one is different types, 3 different types of transactions. Just to tell him, pull you back. Different types of transactions. Compete and beat. This one says it never hurts to get a second opinion on a mortgage rate. This is just all different stuff that, Dan, I'll leave them out here. So
Yeah,
you
right now.
grab a bunch, make different ones. And then this is something that Georgia Woodbine made. Look at that. These are postcards that she had made. She sends these out, but this one is a cool thing to have either printed up or have them on the counter with your information on the back. Says curious what your house is worth. So if somebody is a nosy neighbor or somebody has a house to possibly sell, you got material to give them. People love stuff. They love getting tchotchkes. They just do. They walk around like this with whatever you give them. These stupid little pads.
I think that if you write like a little personal note, that would actually help, as opposed to just sending out a flyer. I think like just
Correct.
writing like a little
Anything
note, yeah.
that you do. Here's one. If you get 1099s, people think they get 1099s. Can you see that? If you get a 1099, that you can't get a mortgage because we treat 1099 independent
The C-
contract differently, because in the million years, a 1099 was never entitled to get unemployment insurance. And all of a sudden they said, hey, you're a 1099 it's a contractor. You are now allowed to get unemployment insurance. So I guess a couple of mortgage companies questioned it and said, well, if they can get unemployment insurance and they're independent contractors, why can't we get them mortgages? And so I'm going back into my slideshow. And let's go here. So we have flyers and brochures we just talked about. And we also have putting the signs out early, right? Better to have somebody come up. So that's why you want to get to an open house an hour early. The owner isn't thrilled about that, but the owner's got to get the hell out of the house anyway, right? So you want to get there early. You want to put the signs out a little early. It can't hurt. Again, there's a lot of people that they tell you, you know, you're a busy agent. You got multiple open houses. You should do, there's some agents, they do them for 1 hour or 2 hours. Why waste the day? There are people that go to church on Sunday and they don't get out till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock. There are people that go out to dinner with their family. There are people that do stuff later in the day and they want to get it done. Let's go quick and look at it in the morning because we're busy today. We got stuff to do. So the longer your open house is, the better. Bring yourself something to eat, some kind of snack, nothing like no deviled eggs that smell and, you know, no smelly food, but you certainly want to get yourself something. You have enough people, somebody go out and, you know, go get us something to eat, something to drink would be good to have. Make sure that the owners get out early. Next, make sure the house is definitely showable. The reason you want to get there early, there's a lot of houses that they haven't washed the dishes. The cat box is full of turds. The place smells. You might have to get there and light some candles. You definitely want to do something because a lot of homes I've been in that have lots of cats or, you know, not a very tidy dog, they need to be kind of spruced up a little bit. So when we talk about that, you should have a can of, don't do it in front of the owner, by the way, have a can of air freshener. You should have a kit. So you might have to wipe some surfaces down, right? You might have some doors that squeak. So those little teeny can of WD-40 you can get from Home Depot for $1.39. Then you just keep it in your glove box. Cases like squeaky doors or something, you can always hit them with that. You should have some trash bags on you in case they didn't take the garbage out. Take the garbage, put it in a hefty bag. I always have contractor bags. If you choose, depending on the ambiance of the house, to have some very mellow music playing in the background is really good. Lighting candles, if they're okay with that. Not everybody loves candles anymore. You want to make sure that the house feels comfortable and looks good. This was Mariana's open house. At the time she did it, she was working with Caliber Mortgage. with Joanna. So they had all their flyers out. She bought some snacks and things like that. She had water bottles, etc. Flyers for sure. You should have as much material for them to take as possible. Everything they take is more opportunity to them to keep seeing your face, whether it's a postcard, a flyer. Everybody taking notes? Plus, you can watch the video. Every visitor that walks in the door is a potential interview. Don't let anybody, unless it's some crackhead that stumble in off the street to use the bathroom, everyone else is an interview. Somebody walking in the door is either potentially buying, selling, renting, or at some point might run into somebody today, tomorrow, next week that's buying, selling, renting, that just saw your open house. It's not for them. They were just like, what do you want to do on a Sunday? Let's go take a look at a couple of open houses. There's some balloons. Let's go look. We've done that. Anybody do that before? I'm not looking for a house. Every now and then we'll be driving and Mrs. Broad, we go, oh, let's go take a look at what's in that house. If we have nowhere to go and we're just, sure, let's go take a look. I don't care. What do I care? And I'll walk through the house and then I'll hand them my card. And they're like, they look at it like it's a bad thing. I don't look at it like it's a bad thing ever. If it's another realtor, how do you know I don't have a buyer for this property? So don't, just go in there. Even if you see an open house that's not yours, you should go in there. And I'm just previewing this thing for my client. Okay. Next, I can't create this relationship in only a couple of minutes. Once you get the information, the follow-up is really important, but that first impression is everything. So you got to look good, got to smell good. We just talked about looking good, smelling good. And you got to carry yourself in a way that's very respectful to everybody that walks in the door. Because there are agents. I have met agents that the minute they hear you're a realtor, they're literally rude. The minute they hear that you're not looking or you live down the street, they turn into nasty, rude, like, I am wasting your time. And that's like the biggest turnoff. Got to be cool. Relax. Welcome everybody coming in the door. Ask them, is this your first time? Are you working with a realtor? I don't like to pounce on somebody the minute they walk in the door and go, are you currently working with a realtor? I like to introduce them, tell them who I am. Welcome to the home. Can I get you something to drink? Would you like a snack or anything like that before you take the tour? And don't just turn people loose in the house, if possible. If it's
Joe, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So I know that there's obviously strict laws about when someone has a realtor, you can't step on that person's toes in any way. You can still give them a tour and everything, right?
Of course.
And
If somebody says I'm working with a realtor, absolutely.
At the
Still
end of
giving
the
them my
tour,
card.
yeah, if they ask for it, it's like, I mean, you did your job, you didn't do anything more. If they don't feel satisfied with their realtor after seeing you, it's still kind of an opportunity in some way,
Still an
right?
opportunity, absolutely. What you don't want to do is try to steal them.
Yeah, okay. That's
Right.
what I
So yeah, if somebody comes in with a client, the agent, I usually send them a thank you email for bringing your client to my open house. Still makes good rapport. I'm a broker owner, so an agent comes in, I might want that agent to come work for me. So I'm always going to thank them for bringing their client to my open house. But as an agent, it's good business to just thank them for bringing them to my open house, right? Thank you for bringing your client.
And you don't know if you're gonna work with them in the future.
Yeah, in the future. Let me tell you, you will be. The buyers and sellers come and go, but the agents in certain communities, you're going to see over and over. You're going to see them again. And if you build a good relationship, I have gotten deals from agents that go, I got a lot of offers on it, but Joe, we've done business before and you make life real easy for me. So I want my clients to go with you. I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. You build good rapport with people, right? That's cool.
100%.
Okay, so we'll welcome them. Don't ask them right off the bat if they're working with another agent, but we do want to bring them into the kitchen or wherever the sign-in sheet and say, our owner would request that everybody coming in here signs in. So I would like to ask you to please sign in. And then once they sign in, casually, when you're taking them around, you could start picking, you start asking a few questions, but we don't want to make it like we're the Inquisition. We want to make it that, let me show you this house. We want them to feel comfortable. So to make them feel comfortable, we're walking them through the house, telling them all the features of the house. And is this the kind of house that you're looking for? Is this your kind of taste, this kitchen? And what did you like about this kitchen? You're walking around, you want to pull information out of them so they put their guard down. So by the time they start feeling comfortable and taking a look at this bathroom, and this house is a great house anyway, somebody may come in there and go, you know, there's not enough closets in here. This lady's got stuff piled to the ceiling. Well, no, she chose not to hang anything on the walls. That's just her particular style. You know, there's people that, you know, I've known people that don't put anything on the walls ever. And they put bric-a-brac all over the place on top of furniture, wall units, but they will not hang a single thing on the wall. So it's all taste. And so the more engaging that you are with people and the friendlier you are, they put the shield down. And they're all of a sudden building rapport and going, hey, you know that guy Christian, he's a nice guy. And now when you are, you know, halfway through or you've already started some good conversations, now it's like, you know, do you like this kind of house even appeal to you? Well, quite honestly, we live across the street and we just wanted to see like what upgrades they did to this house. I'm just looking to see what homes have because I'm trying to get my house ready to go. I'm trying to figure out like what color I should paint my walls, and I'm just getting ideas for things. People do that, right? So I was going to redo my kitchen. I saw this kitchen. I want to see what kind of stone you had on the counter, whatever it is. Their guard goes down, and then you build relationships. That's what this is all about. Everybody got the idea, right? What we're talking about. I would have brochures available. I wouldn't like walk up to every single person and just start handing stuff out because then it has no value. I want to make sure that people appreciate this stuff. We talked about signing in. Don't grab them and drag them around the house. We want to lead them through the house. You want to make this a really cool experience. It's got to be a great experience. Before you leave, tell me how this home compares to anything that you were looking for, right? What do you think? I do that throughout the process. I don't wait till the end and go, so what do you think? Right? I'm in the kitchen and say, you know, what do you think of this, the layout of the kitchen? Is this something that, you know, what about the backsplash? You know, I like this feedback. You know, I'm in the business. This is what I do. So I want as much information from anybody that I meet so that in the future, somebody's getting the house ready to sell and they ask me my opinion. I could say, well, you know what? I talked to a lot of people and they really love this subway tile, the big ones. I talked to a lot of people. They don't like this kind of handle. It just comes up in conversation. It sounds like you really are interested. That's what we want to do. Most important step when somebody does leave, follow up. I may want to schedule an appointment to meet with these people. That's your goal. You want to make sure that they might say, if I am looking for a realtor, I had a wonderful experience. This place was so great. And I don't really care for the house, but they were really nice, right? If you do get somebody that says, I'm looking around, how long have you been looking? In my office, we've been really successful in getting our buyers accepted offers. While you're looking, are you working with another agent exclusively? Well, you know, I am working with another agent. Is it exclusive? Is it like your brother-in-law or something like that? Well, no, we know the person, or yes, we've been working for a long time. That's okay. Good. I'm happy for you. And if there's anything that your agent has questions for us about the house, please have them reach out to us. You're being polite and not pushy. Their agent might be that pushy biatch that's out there that's saying, hey, I showed you 4 houses already. You need to pick something already. They're going to go, you know what? That guy, Christian, he was so nice. He was so polite. He wasn't pushy. I like him better. You're fired. You're hired. It's really good when you're not desperate to sell a house. And you need to make a sale. You come off salesy. Even if you're not trying to be pushy, you come off pushy. If you could care less if they buy a house or not, you just tell it like it is. So close for the appointment, try and get them to come and see their home. If you do get a buyer or a seller, if there's a buyer, we want to try and pinpoint a day to go shopping, to meet, get the paperwork done. If it's a seller, I don't know, I haven't seen your house yet. If that doesn't happen and we can't book an appointment, put them in your CRM, your book of business, get them in there and make sure that they don't forget who you are. Reach out to them. I would rather have somebody hit unsubscribe because I'm not ready to do anything. Stop sending me anything. I'm gonna unsubscribe. I'd rather have that than have somebody not know how to reach me. You want to invite them to future open houses anywhere else. Anybody that came in that you do have information, Dan, say if you want a second look, we're doing another open house Saturday and Sunday. Please feel free to stop by. If you know anybody that you might be interested after you saw the house, if you tell anybody about it, that'd be great. If you could, please have them or bring somebody else, bring a guest. Okay, here's what we do. Got to have the attitude, follow up, and follow up, and follow up, and then follow up. That Saturday,